You are up, Commissioner.
All right, Bannock County Commissioners are in sessions Friday, January 30th. Can you believe we're done with January already? That is just crazy talk. With that, I would move that we would enter into the Board of Ambulance. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We have a request to write off the deceased patient accounts. Total number of accounts, 32 accounts. Total balance due that we are being asked to write off is $7,342.92. Discussion?
I'd go ahead and make a motion that we approve writing off these dead people's accounts.
Okay. And just as a matter of discussion, we've talked with Chief O'Hearn about this several times. They do a very good job of trying to collect on these balances. So these are dead accounts. I had to throw that out there. All right, we have a motion. All in favor, say aye. Aye. And then I would move that we exit the Board of Ambulance. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Charity, come on up.
Charity Stagg, Southeast Idaho Council of Governments, here with the results of the RFS for the Lava Ranches Fuels Reduction Phase 2 project. RFS is closed, ratings are complete, and the highest rated and recommended contractor is CR Fence.
Good. How many applications did you have?
We had 4. One did not come to the in-person project tour, so they were weeded out. So we had the 3 that were rated.
Did you have one that was way outside of the scope of the others from a cost perspective, or were they all fairly tightly bunched?
We went with the acres, the amount of acres that they could do, and that
Right.
was pretty far apart.
That's what I was referring
Yeah.
to, because we had one that was a lot of acres.
Yeah, and that's the one that was weeded out,
Okay.
unfortunately.
And they were weeded out because they did not attend the pre-bid meetings or whatever?
Yep.
Okay. Okay. Okay, any further questions?
No.
Okay, so what would you like from us today then? Just to accept that?
Yep.
Okay.
And I've got some prepared letters if you would like to take care of those today.
Okay.
I'd make a motion that we go ahead and accept that top individual in contest and sign these letters of intent.
And that was CR Fence?
Yep.
Yeah, so CR Fence.
Fence.
Okay, we have a motion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. And thank you for all your work on this stuff, Charity.
Appreciate it.
Okay. Okay. Hal and friends.
Good morning, Commission. Hal Jensen, Planning Director. Pleasure to be with you this morning. As always, I have with me
Tristan Borkwin, Assistant Director.
in our conversations regarding the work on the ordinance, we came to the conclusion that our department had never scheduled meetings on a regular basis to update the Commission on what goes on and what is going on in our office. So we scheduled for 10 minutes today. I will take the first part. Tristan will jump in behind me relative to the ordinance, but I wanted to share some interesting 2025 statistics with you. I asked my team to compile some different numbers and a synopsis, so I just wanted to go through with you. I have a breakdown of 3 separate items, okay? First one is active planning and development permits. And those have all kinds of things from parcel determinations to variances to things that we do in public hearings, etc. Currently, active planning and development permits are 246 that are active. Our active building permits that are either in the stage of They have been applied for and are in the process of being approved for permits or currently under construction. We have 260. Active subdivision and surveying permits, we have 60. And something that I've never put together to share with you, and to be honest, I was staggered by the results of what I'm about to present. I decided that I would find out just what took place in the year 2025. So I'm going to go through a number of different titles of types of permits and give you what's going on. Residential dwelling permits in 2025 were 113 applications. Accessory structures, 94. Code violations, 118. Excavation and grading, 37. Partial determinations, so that you know what a partial determination is. It's when someone comes into our office, asks if they have a development right, or would like us to do initial basic due diligence on their behalf and take the parcel, go through history to find out if it has a development right through either proper subdivision or they lose a development right because of improper subdivision. Anyway, parcel determinations, 123. Floodplain development permits, 14. Development permits, which are small structures, miscellaneous sheds, those types of things, 33. Ag permits for ag structures, 19. Vacations, whether it be a right-of-way, easement, etc., 1. A rezone, 4. Future land use amendment, 2. Conditional use permits, 12. On the subdivision side, concept plans, 5. Preliminary plats, 4. Final plats, 7. Pre-developments, 6. Surveyor reviews, 33. Minor land divisions, 15. Boundary line adjustments, 14. For a total permit application in the year of 2025 of 669 permits. So if there's any question about what we do, you now know that we stay pretty hopping. And I'm very proud of the team that we have. They are very efficient, they are high achievers, and I can't say enough about the good that they do for the patrons of Bannock County. Now that said, not everybody's happy with us, and we understand that because things happen. But for the most part, I think we serve the constituency of Bannock County very efficiently and appropriately. If you have any questions, I would be glad to entertain anything relative to what you do or you don't understand about that.
Do you have any historical comparison to that 669 number?
I could generate that, Commissioner, but I have never done it. As a leader in the department, I don't use these types of things as a metric, so therefore I've never bothered to do the homework to find out. So it just caught me by surprise when I decided that, you know what, we've never had this conversation, so I'll bring some things to the table so that you could understand at least what 2025 was.
Well, I like that stuff, so if you wouldn't mind giving me like a 2-year history, if that's
bet.
not a ton of work, that would just be great.
I will share with you that I do know one, and I shared it with the commission previously some time ago. 2021 was our biggest year.
Right.
I mean, it was a big, big year, and we did 174 residential permits in that year, and to compare what we did this year, 113. But it's a substantial number of residences that are being built in Bannock County. I don't think most people would realize the development that's going on in our county.
Correct. Did you have something you were going to say?
We received an email, plus I was at a conference this week and a commissioner from Power County expressed his gratitude and what a fantastic office you have, and just how cordial and how helpful and how everything else, as he called and asked a few questions. And so thank you for being a leader in the state.
Thank you. I have a scheduled conversation with that commissioner on Monday coming. He's been out for a week, so just an FYI. We'll follow up on that initial conversation and some of the things that we did legwork for him against his ordinance and compared some things that are different in our ordinance versus his ordinance, and he wanted to know potentially what could be done differently in Power County. So that's why.
He was very appreciative.
And along those lines, I went to a session on comp plans, and ours was held up as a representative one of a good one. They liked the way it looked, they liked the way it read. Well done.
Where was
That's
that,
awesome.
where was that meeting?
At the Idaho Association of Counties, it was one of our just learning sessions, and the speaker had gone through, tried to go through all the counties and pull up their comp plans, and of the ones she found, ours was one of the ones they held up as an example of one to pay attention to.
Thank you. I appreciate that feedback.
So, well done. Quick question on development rights and the transfer of development rights. Is there a statute that says that that is something that we have to allow, or is that an ordinance that allows the transfer?
statute.
It is a state statute.
Yep. So one of the items, Commissioner, to just either as a refresher reminder, or maybe I'm telling for the first time, because we're a subdivision of state government, we are granted permission to develop as we see relative to our ordinance. But when it comes to subdivision of land and maintaining development rights, we follow state statute relative to how that process works. I was not here, and it occurred before my employment with the county, but the state recognized some years ago that the subdivision of land had become quite messy, shall we say, all across the state. It wasn't just specific to Bannock County, it was across the state. And there were so many swaps that had occurred with, Farmer John and Farmer Joe, just, well, we'll just move the fence over here and I'll give you this 20. And there were a lot of things that didn't follow proper procedure, and the state recognized that. They came to each county and said, and I'm giving you a real simple overview, they came to each county and said, you need to pick a date, and from that date previous, everything will have a development right. It will be a legal non-conforming with development right. But you make sure that everything you do moving forward follows proper procedure. If it doesn't, and it comes to you, you deny the development permit, you deny the development on the parcel until the parcel owner corrects it through proper channels, which means coming to our office, whether through a minor land division or a plat or subdivision, etc. So we've had to play the police force in a number of issues that have not been fun, but that, because we follow the state statute, that's what we do.
So can we tweak that? And last year we had that issue where somebody was upset about someone taking the development right from one part of the area and moving it over to another and kind of gaming the system, so to speak. Can we put some guardrails on that, or is it just?
Only if you choose to as the commission.
Yeah, we can. There's just basic requirements from state statute, and then we can be more restrictive from there and put more parameters in place. So that is something that we can look at.
I would probably like to have a discussion on that and see what
Okay.
makes sense, because, and I was talking with another commissioner from another county, and he was having a similar issue, and I just thought maybe it's something we should look at and see. Because again, like that issue we had last year, that people didn't think it was fair that someone could take a development lot right from clear over there and apply it over here and game the system.
So that said, perhaps the commission, it would do well for us to just do a simple work session to teach how development rights work, why it's structured the way it is, and the intent. Because even though those adjoining neighbors in that particular issue had an issue, that's the way that it's intended to be used, literally.
Okay.
I mean, literally. You couldn't find a better example of how it works with the intent of transferring development rights from one parcel in ag to the next.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah, let's do a work session on that and get with Christie when you guys think you have some time to do that.
Okay.
Let's do that. I would just like to dive into that just a little bit.
And then if you choose that you think we need to go down the path, and it's something that we need to tweak during the ordinance rewrite in that particular component that we have in the ordinance, perhaps we have enough time to get something corrected.
Yeah, it's not a huge pressing issue, but we just talked about it. Thought it'd be interesting to investigate a little bit more.
Okay.
Any further questions?
Well, I just visited with the coroner this morning. He was talking about an ordinance on burial sites. So it's never ending, is what I'm seeing.
Correct. And as things continue to grow, we start to find other issues that Bannock County has never been faced with before, which the coroner also came to me and said, hey, this is a potential problem. I'm going to take it to the commission. I said, thank you for the heads up. If the commission recommends that we do something in regards to that, we'll get it added in the process. So,
And that's at this conference that we was at this last week, or this week. Last year, they had one on backyard burials, a session, and it can become a problem. There was a homeowner that went out in her backyard, and there was a guy there, and says, what are you doing here? And the guy says, I'm visiting my son, he's buried here. They had no idea.
It wasn't disclosed in the sale of the property.
Okay.
So come to find out, Idaho is the Wild West. You could pretty much bury somebody alongside the trail and you're okay. So we need to address that.
okay. Okay. With that said, if you have no questions for me, I will turn the time over to Tristan.
Thank you.
Okay, the update I have for you is regarding our biggest project in the office, which is the rewrite of the ordinance. We are still in phase 1 of the timeline that we submitted to you a couple of weeks ago. However, I did want to report that we are on time for phase 1. So we have 2 weeks left in phase 1, and we are just finishing the preparation of draft 2 now, cross-referencing definitions, making sure where we define them, it makes sense in the actual ordinance to use that definition throughout the whole document, and then it will move on to phase 2 for legal counsel review. I did also have a conversation with Emma yesterday, and I'm going to kind of squeeze the timeline a little bit to send her the document at the same time that I send it to John, so that she understands when it comes to final draft what all she has to prepare, and can maybe start that process now as well to help speed up the process a little bit for that. So we also talked about some website information, so I'm going to work with Emma to get some transparency and stuff on the website to show where we're at in the timeline. Are we behind? Are we ahead? So that that's also projected on the timeline or on the website as well.
Good, good. Thank you. Any comments?
Well, I don't see any gray hair, so she's doing well.
At least not in
Can't say the
her.
same on Hal.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you. Appreciate all of your work, all you do, and carry on.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Kendall.
Good morning. Dan Kendall, Facilities Director. Which one did we want to start with? The access controls or
Whatever you want, it's your call.
Mr. Adam?
Since you got Adam here, let's do that.
Yeah.
Good morning, Adam McKinney,
morning.
Chief Technical Officer.
We were here to discuss adding some access controls for a door on the exhibit building in Downey. It would give the capabilities of being able to use your phone to get into the building as we start renting it out. The one that we are suggesting was referred to us by our contractor here in town. They said it was pretty reliable and they felt like it was the best option for us. And the way it works is like one of us could control turning it on and off, and the customer would have an app on their phone, and say Jamie turns it on and they can use their phone to fob into the building. She can turn it on and off however she would like, and there also is a keypad, so she could also issue a code and they could type it in that way. But I think we're to that point. I left those off on purpose just so we could work it out, work all the details out of how you guys wanted to use the building or rent it out. And there's going to be some bugs to figure out as far as if you're going to rent, just one room or just the whole building, however you want to do that. But there are some bugs to be worked out, but I think this is the first step, is to get people in, and us being able to control who gets in and when they can get in. And we do have the cameras on site as well, so. Adam was here to answer any technical questions as far as attaching to the Wi-Fi and that kind of thing.
It's the same setup that we're using in the elections office. Newer keypad, but the same kind of subscription-based, web-based. We've got Wi-Fi coverage. We've worked with Scott's in the past. It's pretty simple to set up. Once it's set up, we've got a master account. Whoever's, Jamie can have it, Fairboard can have it. They'll have a master account, so it logs all the audits in and out the doors. And fairly straightforward. There is a subscription cost. I think you mentioned it was about $10 a month.
$20 a month.
Or $20 a month.
Up to 200 people can use it that way.
Okay.
And Dan and I went down and looked, and I really believe that we need to put it on one door. Put it on the back side, where the front door is a double door. And Dan and I talked that the
Single door.
access and to make it simpler, that would be the right one. So I'd really like to move forward with this, so that we need to start utilizing that building. We have a fee scale on it already, and so I think that we ought to utilize it and make it available to the public. And the only other thing I'd like to do, as we talked about that, is probably change out that sliding screen door in the kitchen and make it a roll-up door that we can lock down.
Okay.
I think that would, the current condition right now, there's no reason to lock the kitchen if you can just open that sliding
Correct.
door. So, I'm excited to move forward with it.
It's about time. Let's do it.
Okay.
Let's get her done.
We'll
Okay.
talk again about the roll-up door on another day, but, yeah, they're not cheap, but I did order one when we built the building. It just got caught up in manufacturing and didn't get delivered, so.
And we're looking at maybe a $5,000 bill for this locking system.
I put a not to exceed 4,000, but I hope to be more like 3,500.
Okay. And then after we looked at it, I come talk to Adam and the cameras that we have. And did you find out
Yes.
who has access?
So Central has it, and then the event center folks have it.
Okay.
Yep. As I mentioned, the gear is here that records it. We can give whoever you'd like to have access to it. It's not a problem. It's all on the network, so we can install the software that would allow viewing for those cameras anywhere you want that's on the network. So
I just wanted to make sure that Central had
yes,
the ability to look at that.
Yep.
We have a camera inside and a couple of cameras outside.
Yep. They're plumbed into Central, and then the event center folks, Cheney and Scott, have them as well.
What about dispatch?
Dispatch doesn't have any cameras viewing on a regular basis.
Okay.
We can absolutely give dispatch access,
Well-
but they don't have any screens that watch cameras other than the ones that are basically leading up to the doors to dispatch.
And I guess what brought it to my attention is we had one of our officers that was patrolling in Downey while we was down there. And I just was curious, does she have the ability to, bring in cameras up and look at the facility, or if they get a call,
We could absolutely make that
do they
happen.
have the ability to say, okay, give me a picture of that
Yep.
before I go in and stuff? I was just wanting to deal with it.
The patrol vehicles are all on our network all the time via Cradle Point tunnels, which they use for their body cams, and they use it for their spillman access. So it would be pretty straightforward to give a patrol person access to those cameras. Yeah,
No,
absolutely.
it
It's definitely doable.
One of the things that popped in my head as
Yep.
I was down there.
Just has to have the software installed on their Tough Book. Could be done.
That'd be a great bathroom break spot too for the patrol during the night. There's not a lot of places in Downey to use the bathroom.
That'd be all right.
Yeah.
Very much so.
Yeah.
That's a perfect plan. They could get a game of pickleball in while they're at it.
There you go. There you go. Okay. Thank you, Adam.
Yep.
Appreciate that.
Thank you.
Next question is permission to use the facility down there for a wedding reception. I think I'll let Commissioner Moser take care of this one.
Well, like I said, I think that we need to get that facility utilized. Dan has a wedding coming up, and I would like to propose I don't know what your proposal is, but I would like to propose that we try this system out, we try this building out, and allow Dan to use the facility with no charge and see if there's any kinks.
I think that is a wonderful suggestion, and so I would move to approve that motion.
Thank you, guys.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Thank you, I really appreciate that. I know she will too.
She's earned it.
Thank you.
Congratulations, that's
Thank you.
exciting.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Generator discussion.
Dan, you can stay there for a minute if you want.
Okay.
Tony called me. We have the generator out at the jail that they're replacing. And they was gonna give us $2,500 salvage cost. It is a service generator that is, we know it works and it's been good. I would like to keep it. I talked to Kyle out at Road and Bridge, and I'd like to store it there. We don't know what we're gonna do with that facility out there yet. If we have a power outage right now, they can't open the gates, they can't fuel the police cars, and then if we're gonna build a new facility for the coroner, I think that if we're gonna have the freezer system out there, that it would be wise for us to keep this generator, because it would cost us a whole lot more than $2,500 to do something with it. So I would ask that we keep that generator, store it for a little bit if we need to. Talk to Kyle, and there is room there, but I think that it would save the county a lot of dollars if we were able to utilize that one instead of buying another new one later.
Yeah. We looked into that before, and those older ones were just too old, so I think that's a great idea to hang on to this one and try to put it to use, because it's definitely needed. It would be huge to be able to power that place up and be able to get fuel and use the shop, like you say, get through the gate.
Well, it doesn't hurt us to hold on to it for a little bit longer until we figure things out, so
Yeah,
at
that'd be great.
least we have a plan
It's a great idea.
if we don't need it, so. Okay,
So I'd make a motion that we go ahead and keep the generator instead of salvaging it and utilize it per need in the future.
okay, we have a motion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, thanks, Dan.
Thank you, guys, again, appreciate it a lot.
Thank
Our
you.
pleasure, thank you. Ms. Davenport.
Christy Davenport. I am here with Emma Iannacone to talk to you gentlemen about the America 250 celebration. Commissioner Moser is the ambassador for Bannock County. Somebody from the state treasurer's office reached out to him last year, and he accepted that task. We have met and have a few ideas that may need some funding that Commissioner Moser had already requested funding for in the FY26 budget. The items that may request or need funding are a fun run and 2 birthday party celebrations for our employees. So that is, excuse me, one thing that I would like to ask for permission to use those funds for those items that come up that need funding.
Purchase t-shirts.
Oh, yes. Right, yes.
Jason has a t-shirt cannon,
Right.
and we utilize it. Fun run, 4th of July.
Okay. Do you have a budget for those items, Christy?
We have $7,500 left in that budget, we have not identified exactly how much we would need from that.
We set aside $10,000.
Mhm.
We utilized 2,500 for the
Christmas and the night.
Christmas lights.
Right, that's right.
We are also talking about applying for a grant for $2,500 from the state. May get some back, but we, with the 7,500, like I said, we'd like to have a couple of birthday parties for our employees, just for our employees. The t-shirt cannon and stuff like that, we'd need some funds for. And then the other thing, it won't come out of that $7,500, but we want to encourage 250 minutes of service for our employees and allow offices to do that while they're on the paycheck or on the time card. So they would be expending county funds on this service, but we believe that, and that coordinates with the state. They're doing 250,000 hours of service, and this would coordinate with that, and then we'd send in our services to incorporate with that 250. So at first I was a little hesitant in doing it on the time card, or on the time clock, but I believe that this is a celebration. We need to let them know that Bannock County is excited about our birthday, and we're pretty proud to be part of it.
Yeah. So yeah, I was going to work with Emma to see if she could help me promote service projects like ideas, and then different departments could come together and decide what service projects they wanted to do. We also are going to talk about that during the elected officials meeting next week. And then random acts of kindness is something else that we would like to put out there for people to just be thinking about and putting into practice.
Okay.
A couple other things. There is a proposed resolution from the state of Idaho that I was going to see if you guys wanted to look at it, and it kind of looks like more of a proclamation to me. So I don't know if we would rather do it as a proclamation and maybe change the words up a little to go with our county, but I wanted to send that to you guys and have you look at that and decide how you would like that to be, or if you even want to do that. And then Emma has some links to that 250,000 minute web page that people can we can piggyback off of those ideas. And then there's also an Idaho web page called Move 250, and they have like all the trails, all these kind of things. So we would like to promote, getting out there and being in nature, getting some exercise during this whole birthday celebration.
That's something we could also partner with Healthy City USA on if we'd like to. They do a lot of those Move Spring challenges. We already work with them on our employee walking challenges. Matthew's really good about that. So if that's something that we want to promote either internally with our employees or externally with the whole public, they could be a good partner as well. And then also just piggybacking off of this is already a thing that the state is doing. So
I would like to actually go back to the conversation about the amount of money. Do you want me to do you want to set aside a certain amount of money for each party? Do you want to set aside a certain amount for the t-shirts? How do you want to do that?
I think we have another meeting next Tuesday. The
Thursday.
three of us and Jason are meeting, and now that we're getting the approval of the commission to move forward with this, then I think we go to that meeting, say, okay, this is our plans, this is where, what, how, and then we kind of have a 95% plan of where that money should go and how, and then we bring that back to the commission, say, this is where we want to spend the funds.
Okay. Good with that?
So another idea that was talked about in our discussion that I wanted to bring to the board was setting up a competition, costume competition or race of people dressing up as Washington crossing the Delaware and paddleboarding or whatever craft they would like to use on our reservoir at the wellness complex. I thought that would be a really fun way to engage folks and honor our history, maybe kick off the weekend of celebration. I did very small focus group and texted my friend group to see if there would be any interest. And one person said she'd start whittling her wooden teeth. So I told her if she shows up with wooden teeth, she wins the prize. But that could be a small, $250 prize that people compete for. I reached out to John Radford, our legal counsel, just because I was a little bit concerned about liability for the county, and so he would feel most comfortable having a lifeguard on duty for that event if it's an event
I said
in
no.
the county. I know. And so ultimately up to you guys. If you do want to go the route of the lifeguard, we could potentially reach out to the city of Pocatello. They have lifeguards through their rec center, Ross Park, or I was a lifeguard as a high school student. I could go and get recertified. And then he also asked if we would be asking people to register for that event, and if so, we would ask them to sign a release of liability. And if not, then we would just put up a big sign somewhere prominent that says you're doing this at your own risk. So just a couple of ways to mitigate our liability and also keep people safe. So it's just an idea.
It's a free use pond.
I know, I saw your eyes.
But we'll come back with more. I mean, we've talked about all these things and feel like we have a good direction we're headed. We'll see, but we wanted to talk to the commission about utilizing those dollars towards this. I mean, that's what it was budgeted for, so.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay,
Let's do it.
okey dokey.
Okay, thanks.
I did bring my key with me, so if you want to walk out there.
Okay. Matthew, you want to just go straight into executive?
We could.
Okay, and I would move that we enter into executive session under Idaho Code 74-206 1A and B